Hi there, welcome. This is Diane Hanks, one of 5 awesome optimists, and I'm checking in from Walnut, California, Southern California. I'm going to do a little 101 optimism today and give you a couple little scenarios, okay, to see how optimistic that you may or may not be. Okay, you've always heard about, is the glass half full or half empty, and that's a pretty common expression. But I want to actually put that principle into real life situations. Okay, so let me just give you a few. I'd say, get a piece of paper and number, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just do them one at a time. Let's say, for example, you have something horrible happen to you. You have cancer, okay? A lot of people get this, and you are on chemo and you lose your hair. And so you can look at losing your hair as something that is absolutely one of the worst things ever that could possibly happen, especially if you're a woman. And it doesn't mean that you're vain if you are losing your hair. This just happened to one of my mom's dearest friends, and that's why it's close to my memory. And so I realized, well, Nicole, now she can try out those awesome wigs I just found. And so she went to this amazing wig store and she got like 2 amazing wigs. And so now she can be a blonde, a brunette, a redhead. She can do whatever she wants because the facts are what they are, but what was different was her association with it. That's all that that's all that life is. We are the ones that ascribe the meaning to it. The situations just happen. They just keep coming at us. Pew, pew, pew. They just keep coming. Okay, now let's do another one. Let's say you're on the freeway and somebody whizzes past you. And what's your first thought? Or maybe they come and they cut you off. Are you the center of their universe? No. Who knows why they're whizzing past you? Why you take it personal? Or say, jerk, or whatever. It doesn't have anything to do with you. So, if the same situation, you see somebody driving on a freeway for super duper fast, could be a teenager who is completely reckless, could be somebody who's trying to get his wife to the hospital, could be somebody who's trying to evade the police, it could be somebody who is, I don't know. There's endless possibilities of why somebody could be speeding on the freeway. So why do you ascribe meaning to it without having all the facts? That is totally true. We don't have all the facts. It's not up to us to judge other people. And here's the other part about that. There's an endless set of little scenarios that I could give. Endless. And that's because, okay, let me talk about this too. The same thing that happens to one person can be a tragedy for one and a victory to another. And I like to say that like this: the same hot boiling water that hardens an egg softens a carrot. So same exact thing, the hot boiling water, but one gets hard and one gets soft. And somebody else could say, well, I had alcoholic parents, and so I'm an alcoholic too. Or one could say, I have alcoholic parents, therefore I'm never going to drink alcohol, and I'm going to stop this from ever continuing down in my personal line. And so then you can also say it like this. Let's say a kite is soaring in the wind, and so you say that wind that comes, that it could be likened to adversity. That same strong wind that makes one kite crash makes another one soar. It's all the same idea. So when something happens to you that is initially upsetting, possibly, ask yourself, why is this upsetting me? This doesn't have anything to do with me. Ask yourself that. Or maybe possibly like, is there another way to look at this? Would everybody in my situation look at this thing the very same way? You just never know. So that's the advantage of having an optimistic core to your very being, is that you always assume the best. Always assume the best in people, in situations, and when you do that, you may be right or you may be wrong. And if you're wrong, then whoever you assume the best of is going to thank you for that and possibly pull up their game a little bit to reach your expectations. And if they're not and you assume the best, then, something, that's not your fault that somebody else isn't living up to how you view them graciously. It's a very elegant thing to do, to always assume the best of people instead of always assuming the worst of people. I've watched this week a situation where a person who was a vegetarian or a vegan, somebody very close to me, was being ribbed about it by other people. And Mr. Hollick mentioned this about how some people are really brutal about it. And I don't know why it's anybody's business. Anybody's business except for that person. Who goes around saying everything that they eat unless that's what they do for a living? I mean, it's just, if you're vegan, fine, that's your choice. But why do you have to have other people diss you for your choice? Or why do you have to judge other people for theirs? You don't. So when people say things to you, if they're trying to get, your little feathers ruffled or whatever, don't let it bother you. You've made your choice and you're free to change your choice, or you're free to stick with it. And if people who, are upset with your choice, if they start being ugly to you, then let them go from your life. If you thought they were a friend, a real friend, they would be supportive. And if they disagreed with your choice, they would still love you. They wouldn't be rude to you or, disrespectful of your choice. And so I like the idea of just, letting those negative people in your life, just let them go. Really, just let them go. Then you're going to create this little place in your life to attract some new people who will be supportive. So for every, one negative person that you leave, maybe 2, 3, 10, 50,000 more will come that are positive and supportive to you. So that's my message today in my Optimism 101 class, is to assume the best in people, look at things in a slightly different way, and I think it'll make a difference. And kind of, I'd love to get your feedback. If you have a situation that seems to always be bothering you, if you can possibly look at it in a different way, how much more peaceful would your life be? So thanks for your consideration. I'm Dianne Hanks, one of 5 awesome optimists. Have a great day.